hard.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Rot and Gore Horror Movies podcast, YouTube live show type thing that we are doing for a second time, and hopefully a lot less technical glitches than the previous effort. I am John Leonard, and with me as always is the co-host, the yin to my yang, I guess in this case, Brandon. So bring yourself on there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotten Gore podcast and the Gore Keeper channel. Good to have you. We also have a special guest. John, you want to announce our special guest?
No, you.
Our special guest today is the badass, the one the guy I've wanted on for a long, long time. We finally got him, Mr. Tony of the Dead. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, our pleasure, sir.
We're having glitches today. That's why I'm using my phone.
Your phone looks better than John's computer. I'll say.
Hey.
John, we need to get you a new camera, like, really bad.
Oh, shush. It's fine.
you got like a haze over you. You look like you've been smoking reefer.
It does. Man, that's. He's like, no, I wasn't.
or you have your computer in the shower or something.
It's only the after effect of watching Beaster Day. It's like you have to get your room all foggy.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We will definitely get there. So yeah, welcome for those of you who are watching, and for those of you who used to listen to our podcast, our old Gore Keeper horror movie podcast. We have some fans that have kind of crossed over, so thanks for keeping up with us, and hopefully you like what we're doing with the reboot of the show. And for those of you who are new, welcome. We talk about really shitty horror movies and hidden gems, so it's kind of a mixed bag. And this week, at least in my opinion, we watched a really shitty movie. Probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my whole life. But before we get into it, I'm going to play the trailer for you guys so you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. So I'm going to hit the trailer and then we will start discussing it. Sound good? Sounds good. Right, here comes the trailer for the 2014 piece of shit movie, Beast Day.
Yeah, it's okay here. Anything from this guy.
All right. One question at a time. You to broad in the front. What's up?
Mr. Mayor, what are you going to do about all the wild animal attacks that have been going on?
Wild animal attacks? More like wild rumors, man. It's just a few farm tool accidents, that's all.
Mr. Mayor, how does an electric rig put a body 20 feet into a tree?
Are you a physicist? Are you a physicist, man? It's just one of those science things, man, that nobody knows. It's like the last number of pi or how they get the stuffing in those Twinkies, man. It's just unanswerable.
Oh, darling, what's wrong? Did you see a spider?
I saw a severed foot.
Well, maybe someone just lost it.
People are being killed by something in the woods. In the last several days, we've had 5 separate massacres, including the Amish.
What about the other people? Are they Democrats or Republicans?
What do you plan on doing about Roger?
Well, I don't know, Doug. What do you expect me to do about Roger? Listen to me, everybody! This is the last time I'm warning you. The bloody blitzkrieg is upon us! No! No! The end of days are coming soon, my friends. Once men started marrying men, that was it. It wasn't meteors that killed the dinosaur. They all turned gay.
The trailer is just as bad as the movie.
So,
oh man, so much to talk about with this one.
So for a quick background, for those of you that do not know, this movie was a crowd-funded movie, started off on Kickstarter, and they somehow got $140,000 to make this film.
They did?
Yeah, on Kickstarter. I don't know where that money went. Off the top of my head. There is, I guess, green screen and the cost of getting a marionette puppet those can set you back, I guess.
I think it's the cost of breasts. That's what I think.
That's 100% what it was. Is paying people to take their tops off. That's all it was. That's all the money was spent on.
I'll be in your movie. I'll walk through the woods, YOLO, and then. But hey, oh no, she doesn't get naked. Never mind. No. There's that second one that runs around, purposely does this.
Yeah, and it's just the shot of just that going.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my god, really?
$10,000.
Yep. Some people got paid really well. I'd say about 6 people got paid really well for this movie. And that was it.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the creature design. So the poster is actually pretty cool looking, you know, like, I don't know if I can just bring it up here or not without taking this off screen, but I know I can't. Okay, but yeah, the poster is actually pretty cool. And so you get this idea, okay, like, oh, it's a giant killer rabbit on Easter day. I want to see that.
Is that what got you to pick this?
Actually, what got me to pick it was that when I was scrolling through Tubi one night, I was just looking for something to watch, and I came across Easter Day, and I saw what the thumbnail for this video is. I saw that it was like a physical thing instead of CGI, so I was like, oh, maybe it could be a fun little creature feature then. Like, you know, it's like since it's a practical effect, you know, like it could be cool to watch. It might be so bad it's good, or just insane, you know. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh man, this is so much worse than I ever imagined it was going to be.
It's movies like this that bite your practical effects theory right in the ass. Because you sing the praises of practical effects all the time over CGI or artificial. Yes. But when it is this is the visual equivalent of blaming it on bad CGI. Like, you don't have the excuse anymore of that's just bad CGI. It's like, oh my lord, this is physically bad.
Yeah.
This is 3D in our dimension, real space, bad.
The problem with the way what's his name? Peter Cottonhell? Is that what they call him in the subtitle?
Yeah, it's like Peter Cottonhell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the creature Peter. How about that? We'll go with that. Yeah. He starts chasing people by moving like. His legs don't even move.
Praying mantis style.
He just kind of like wobbles around. And it's like there's no structure to this thing. Like what? It's almost not even a marionette puppet because like the only thing that really moved were the arms. Like he'd be chasing people and like how are they not getting away from this thing? He's literally not moving.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it's not a good marionette puppeteer. It probably was the director was like, shit, I never used one of these before.
I mean, half the time you'd see its legs, they'd be like kind of collapsing on themselves or be all placed awkwardly. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Of course, consider the people that he's chasing. They're not the smartest in this town.
No.
I mean, look at they voted for mayor.
Yeah. Oh man, the mayor was so insufferable in this movie. Every few seconds, man, it's like he was trying to do like he was channeling his inner Pauly Shore so hard, and it didn't work.
Which is stupid because I'll say I will say it was a bait and switch because I do at least take a look at the synopsis before some of these movies, and I saw the inclusion of the mayor, and I instantly got like for this movie like, oh, it's basically shitty Jaws with a bunny. Yeah. But the mayor is so fucking much worse than the mayor in Jaws. I mean, like the mayor in Jaws is like, okay, he seems like he's a mayor. Like this guy is somebody that I guess lucked into the job and nobody else wanted it, so he got voted in. Like that is the only way, because literally anything else I would end up picking over that. But anyways, that's the whole sort of issue that I've had, at least with that character.
I had so many issues, basically with all the characters. I don't think there's a single character that made me laugh this whole movie. I don't know, like, okay, there's a balance with horror and comedy, right? I mean, horror and comedy. I was just watching a documentary and they said this, like, horror and comedy shoot for the same goal. They're trying to get a physical reaction out of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So horror and comedy can mix really well. But when you try to do more comedy than horror, the percentage, then you get a bad movie every time. You got to shoot for the horror first and then subtly throw in comedy. That's the only way it really works. It's never been done in a good way outside of that realm. And for this, it's like it seemed like they were shooting for comedy, but it missed every single time. Like,
right. They're definitely going for like B movie, like Sharknado, kind of so bad it's good. But in this case, I think it almost hit this. Okay, this is where the only small amount of credit comes in. It hit a whole new plane for horror movies for me. Not so bad it's good. Not so bad it's bad. This is so bad it's sad. This movie is just fucking sad. You look at it and go, oh my God. I mean, it is like I've never had a 80-minute long movie drag so goddamn bad for me. This was not a brisk 80 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it definitely needed to be trimmed. Like the whole thing with him running around at the end, warning everybody. That could have been trimmed, I think, like down at least another like 20 minutes or so. Because if they do that kind of stuff, it might make like, you know what, it might have been a bad movie, but at least it wasn't a long movie. You know.
Yeah.
I in my opinion, I've seen worse. I've seen worse, yeah. One comes to mind. I won't mention it, but they tried getting my channel shut down. So, and that's not. I mean, it was terrible before they tried doing that. But, yeah, this isn't the worst. I think. See, it's touchy too. Like the director of Carousel, like. He said about like people saying like, oh, going into this just to make a movie bad, like on purpose. And Carousel's fun as hell. Like it's a fun movie, but like he didn't intentionally go out to make a bad movie. So it's like, I don't think they went out to make a bad movie. I think it just ended up that way, like that, you know, and maybe they just had fun with it. You just got to think of that. But like, I think when you have that kind of a budget for a lower, you know, you should put a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
Well, the way to really be able to tell, which unfortunately you can't do because it's over with, I'd be interested if I could go back in time. I would do more than just this, but if I could go back in time, I'd like to watch the initial Kickstarter pitch for this movie. Like if they were saying, because you have that video at the beginning of every Kickstarter where you're basically saying your mission statement, what you want the money for, blah, 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 blah. If they're saying, like, we think this is going to be a riot, then okay, then you're coming at it from that angle. Mm-hmm. If they came at it like, we want to make a serious Easter horror movie because we feel that Easter is underrepresented in the horror community, and that's a mind that then afterwards you can absolutely go, oh my God, these guys failed so hard. So I think that's a huge key in deciding how bad these guys flopped is like what were they intending publicly? Like how was this pitched?
Yeah.
Well, for me, like, it's just like, I feel like it was a bunch of guys, the Sniggy brothers, something like that, I think were the directors. I feel like they had an idea. They had no previous experience whatsoever. And they're like, hey, this will be fun. I wonder if we can get money for it. And then they did. And then they were run over the heads. And then we're just like, oh, now we got to make this movie. And I don't know how to do it. But let's make fun. Let's have it be fun. You know, let's have a fun time. Which is cool. You know, that's fine. But like Tony said, like, if you're going to have that much money put into it, you need to put some more effort in. You need to try. Like, bring in some people, you know, that know what they're doing. Even like amateur filmmakers, like someone that knows what to do, because there's so many moments in this movie where it's like they'd be running with their mouths open screaming, but there'd be no noise, or someone would get stomped and there'd be no noise to it. So like even the sound was off on everything, and then there'd be moments where he'd be running with his mouth open, but then words would be happening. It's like, but you can see him not talking. You know, it's like
maybe
they couldn't even get the sound right, and there'd be moments from scene to scene where like the voice would be louder, and there'd be like wind in like the microphone or bugs, and then they shoot to the next like, you know, camera or whatever, and there'd be none of that, and their voices would be a lot quieter. It's like, oh my god, even the sound is bad. Like
that's the thing. Maybe, I mean, because I will say that could be where a chunk of the money went for this movie, where they filmed it and the audio just sounded like shit, and so they're like, we need to overdub like almost everything, and they couldn't afford at that point to overdub everything, so they took even the takes that have over the microphone. So I mean, that honestly could be part of it too.
I don't know. But a big problem I had with this too was, and I messaged both you guys as I was watching this movie. I was like, I think I messaged Tony at one point. I'm like, dude, I'm like 50 minutes into this movie, and there's still no real plot. Like, at that point, it was just still like, I mean, you had a little bit of Doug, the main dog catcher guy, but you didn't really know much about him or what his thing was, and you didn't know how he was going to really come into play to everything. Then you had the actress girl who would pop in. I think she first came in like the half-hour mark, and then she had a whole thing with her parents. You thought that was going to go somewhere. It didn't. And then the rest of it was just people that would be in the movie for about a minute or two until they died. And that's how it was up until like the 50, 60-minute mark. And this movie was only an hour, 23 minutes long. Like, it's not that long of a movie. And it took you almost a full hour to get to the monster, meeting your two main characters, and then flesh out a plot the last 20 minutes. It's like, what the fuck were you thinking? You know? It was just unbelievable, because I just kept thinking as I was watching, like, okay, well, the plot, I mean, these characters have got to meet this monster at some point, right? Because there's got to be a finale, and there's like only 20 minutes left, and we haven't even established that they know this creature exists yet. So like, how is there going to be a finale? And then the finale was so rushed, it felt like it didn't even matter. So this whole time, the finale was basically Doug runs around in a carrot suit around town, which Peter generally didn't even follow. He was just hopping around anyway, so that was a stupid plan. And the girl sends up... She finally takes a gun. The first reasonable thing anybody does in this movie, they bring a gun, and they shoot Peter like 3 times, and that's it. And it's done. The movie's over. It's like, it was so anticlimactic, too. It's like, okay, we shot him, movie's over, roll credits. And then the end credits were so awkward, too. It's just end credits with them rolling over, and they're just both going... It's like, oh my god,
that's the comedy. That's the comedy part of it, though. You know, like, I know it just didn't land. Kind of has a I think not everything. What's his name? Doug, the guy. I think some of the times he was funny, but a lot of times it was like in the beginning it was a little painful, like him getting ready and then shoving everything in his crotch.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, okay, it's a little much, but you know, this guy's gonna. It's like he's trying to. I got in my head like this guy's gonna try to be like Justin Long or something, you know, like funny.
Yeah, that he kind of gave me that vibe too. But a very lesser Justin Long.
Right. Yeah, like the Wish.
Justin Short.
Wish. Justin Short.
Justin Short.
You order Justin Long on Wish, and that's what shows up as Doug.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
But like I thought he was like funny at times, but like it was a little cringy, you know, with him trying to hit on her and everything. But again, you're in a town where they have an organization of people, dog catchers in the rye, and their weapon is a net. And apparently he's getting charged a lot for these things. He's taking them all out.
Throughout the movie, he just... That's the one thing I found funny, is every time he went back to explain something... He'd grab like 3-4 more nets and just be like, dude, what are you doing with all these fucking nets?
Those are coming out of your check.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you have checks for people?
Okay, the one moment I will say made me legitimately laugh, and it was only one time, was when Doug's boss got his legs chopped off from Peter.
Oh.
And so he's laying on the ground going... Oh, if you could just bring me to the hospital, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be fine. I just need to get to the hospital. And he goes, I'll end your suffering. He smashes his head in with a piece of wood. It's like, oh, my God. It made sense for Doug in that moment to do that, because they kept, like, taking pot shots at like, oh, he hasn't been on his medication and all this stuff. And then he goes into that asylum or whatever where he's in the straitjacket, he's all doped up. It's like,
yeah,
you could tell he has problems, you know. So then him just coming totally unhinged was like a moment that I was waiting for, and then it happened, and I enjoyed that. I'll give it that.
I thought it was funny too when he would warning people, but like, well, not that the whole thing, but when he went on that one neighbor's house and on the porch, and he's like, the neighbor stuck his head out the window, like he's like, "Get the fuck out! I'll fucking kill you!" Like, it was just like that made me laugh. I don't know, like, it was just a funny moment. But like again, obviously can't go into this movie thinking, "Oh my god, this is a big killer bunny." But you're right though. Like at first, it starts off. There's a rabbit, a giant rabbit. We don't know why he looks like the way he does. Why is he mutated? And killing big-breasted women. Go back to the scene, to the story. Go back here and kill somebody else. You know, it's like you said, and it's finally an hour later. It's like we have reports of people being killed, but it's like, oh, you're just hearing about this now?
Yeah,
you know,
it's supposedly a really small town.
You know what the funny thing is? I was saving it for you guys. This was filmed an hour away from me.
Oh,
really?
Because did you ever watch a movie and you're like, man, that looks like somewhere I've been before, like looks like around from here, like Pennsylvania. A lot of movies, I'm like, that looks like Pennsylvania. I don't know, it's just something I can tell. And a lot of times it's Pennsylvania or it's like, you know, like somewhere in New York, you know. And I'm like, this looks like a town, like a couple of towns away from me. And then I'm looking it up, and here, sure enough, it was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is an hour away. And I've been to Allentown so many times, and I'm just like, holy shit! Because I saw Pennsylvania license plate, like, I knew it, and so I want to, you know, PA peeps. You know,
I think
That's awesome.
I think I pieced together, like as we were talking, my overall summation issue with this movie. The humor that comes from the idea of a killer rabbit was adequately done in a movie in the 1970s called Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yes.
And that scene was 5 to 6 minutes, not 80 fucking minutes.
Oh, Jesus. Uh-oh.
Now, I will say on that same token, if Monty Python spent 80 minutes of Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the fucking bunny, I would probably hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there is something to that. Maybe at the very least, that's just came to my head now of going, wait a second. The idea of a killer rabbit isn't even an original idea.
No.
You want to know what's the worst rabbit movie, though? Night of Lupus, or whatever that's called.
Oh, Night of Lepus?
Yeah, that's Lepus. That's fucking garbage.
I still haven't watched it, but I've wanted to for a long time, actually.
Here was something I actually looked up, though, to make a point of this, too, because I was thinking, well, you know what? Maybe they're even going at this from the angle of horror Easter movies. We have horror Christmas movies. We have horror stuff that has the 4th of July as the background.
Uncle Sam.
Why not? Or even to a lesser extent, I mean, Jaws, like the linchpin is the 4th of July celebration. But anyways, but making the point of maybe it's because there aren't Easter horror movies, but there is. I actually looked this up and saw an article here. Here are 7 at least notable Easter related horror movies that exist besides this one. And so here's the ones we got. We got Rotten Tail. We got Easter Bunny Kill Kill. We got Atrocious, if you ever heard that one.
Nope.
Easter Casket. Bunny Man.
Oh, there it is. Easter Casket.
Yeah. Bunny Man. Easter Sunday, and Resurrection. All of these movies all have the setting of Easter, covering it from the bunny angle, from the Jesus angle, from all the different sort of Easter ways to come at this. So this wasn't even them mining a untapped niche.
Right.
And the funny part, I forgot which one. I wish I grabbed the years on this, because I even saw on the list that one of these movies I just said came out the exact same fucking year as this movie. So it wasn't even an original movie in 2014. I just want to bring this up too. This maybe even is summarizing my whole feelings. I usually don't like looking at other people's reviews, at least until after I've seen the movie.
Same here.
Yep.
And so I happened to check out IMDb on this movie afterwards, and I think I found my favorite review by far of this, especially with the description. It's short, so I'm just going to read it quick. This is from May 2021 too, so maybe it's one of you guys. I don't know.
It's not me.
Let's see. The username KD Reynolds 119, May 21. This must period be the worst movie ever! Exclamation point. The hair on that piss poor rabbit puppet thing, looking like old fiberglass insulation ripped out of a 20-year-old air conditioning system. Aww. The only thing that this movie has going for it is some naked chicks. If that is all you're looking for, get a copy of Showgirls. You'll be much happier with that movie.
Well,
yeah.
What'd they give for star ratings? A 1 or a 5?
They gave that a 1. I did see some people that I guess for them bought into the so bad it's good that they found it a laugh riot. Those are the only positives, at least I saw there, were the ones going 10 out of 10. I was laughing my ass off at this movie. Like, fine. I guess comedy is subjective. If that's what you pull it from and you get humor out of it, then that's fine. If you're looking for genuine terrors, or anything like that, no. At least for me, no.
I don't know. For me, like, I love fun horror movies, right? Like, the more fun they are, like, if it's a blast to watch, I'm gonna love it. Like, Psycho Goreman, a recent movie, was like a total blast. Like, and it didn't take itself seriously, and it had like cheaper special effects, but like, I just thought it was such a fun movie that it was just endearing, you know, and I loved it. And, you know, like movies like Terror Vision, it's just, it's not a great movie, but it's so fun to watch, you know, because it's just outrageous. And this was kind of what I was hoping this was going to be. Like, the cover kind of threw me off, like, it's going to be a horror movie. And then I watched the movie, I'm like, okay, it's a horror comedy. Maybe it's going to be so bad because it's going to be over the top and fun. Mm-hmm. And then that fell flat, too. So I'm like, damn it. Well, what positives can I bring out of this? And I'm really struggling to get any little fraction of positivity towards this movie. I can't think of much of anything. I fucking hated my time watching this. I wanted it to be over. I was like 10 minutes in, and I think I texted John or Tony. I don't remember which one you guys texted. But I was at the 10-minute mark. I'm like, dude, this is miserable. I don't know if I can do
That was
this.
me.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I posted on Instagram. I posted a little thing. I was like, guys, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this fucking movie. This is just already.
Here's the other idea.
It never got better.
Well, here's the way to also know that it's bad. One thing that we've kind of wanted to do with this was to not voice opinions until we get to the live, just for genuine surprise. But I think in this case, either we couldn't not say how shitty it was, or we were so confident that the others would not be surprised at our take that we had no problem going, this fucking sucked, right? Yes, this fucking sucked.
For me, it was the latter. Like, I watched it, and I was like halfway through, I'm like, you know what? I know these guys are going to hate it. I'm just going to tell them. You know?
This sucks.
Well, this is like the case of like the cover's awesome. So it's eye-catching. It's like, oh, I want to see that. And the movie's something totally different. It's like a lot of times they spend a lot of. I used to going back. It was like Asylum movies. A lot of them, their covers are really cool, but the movies are terrible. It's like they spent the money on the cover instead of the movie. That's what I always used to say. And the cover's misleading, but it's called. I don't know. I like to think of it too. Like I like to say on my channel. don't go into this expecting a masterpiece and just I'm not suggesting it, but if you do partake in things, maybe it would make the movie experience a little better. Drink a little bit, or if something is legal in your state, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest. Like, the more we're talking about it, I'm like, this kind of has a charm to it. Not that I'm saying I want to watch it again right now or anything, but it's and plus, I can't help now that I've been in a movie and I'm going to be in another movie. I can't think of, like, I got to be a little nicer because people are going to say stuff about my acting. So, but like,
was it 72 that's coming out soon that you're in, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
we'll talk about that a lot.
All right, yeah.
But
we'll plug it at the end.
If you're not looking for something serious and you just want to turn your brain off, put on this movie. But if you want to see something that's actually pretty funny, Easter Casket is good. He's I just watched the trailer. Dustin Mills does it and everything. That one's really, and he's creepier. He has like human teeth.
Ooh.
It's really, but he's funny. But yeah, Beaster Day, I would probably get it on DVD. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no!
I want to see because we don't know what happened on the set. Like what happened on the set that like this happened. Like this movie came out the way it is. So I want to hear from them. What happened? Did somebody quit? Did somebody come in and take over? Is this what you intended? How high were you?
Yeah. The commentary track would be really interesting, honestly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. It was definitely. I'm glad I got to finally see it.
Yeah. I'm glad I saw it only because, my curiosity has gone away from it now, so I don't have to think about it anymore.
That's true.
And maybe it'll make you second guess your curiosity next time. Of going, this might suck.
I've been burned hardcore. So it's like, yeah, should I watch this movie or is it going to be as bad as Beaster Day? Because I don't want to sit through a movie like that ever again.
So this might be the Touch the Stove movie of Rotten Gore Horror Movie Podcast.
Yeah. What's that? What does that mean?
Well, the idea of touch the hot stove, not to fucking touch the hot stove again.
Okay, I like that.
So that's what this was.
On our old podcast, the Gore Keeper Horror Movie Podcast. Oh, excuse me. I had said the worst movie I had ever seen and we had ever done a podcast on. Not just horror, but any movie period. I thought Evil Bong was the worst movie I'd ever seen in my life. But now that I've seen Beaster Day, I can say at least Evil Bong had a plot and a direction and something like it made sense while you're watching it. This was just chopped up random shit thrown together until the last 20 minutes. So I'm going to go on record now on the Rotten Gore Movies podcast, the Gore Keeper channel. This is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I don't know if it can be topped. I hated it. I don't recommend it to anybody. I'm only rating it a 0.5 star because that's the minimum you can give on Letterboxd, and that's only because it was technically a film.
I mean,
that was harsh, but it needed to happen. It needed to be said.
I'm just gonna say, I hope you feel absolutely dirty as shit heaping any kind of praise on Evil Bong. I hope you feel dirty, like you need to shower after this goddamn thing, because I'm not doing that. They both suck.
Well, Evil Bong is definitely not better because of this movie, but
I think that's what you were saying.
No, I'm saying that I didn't say that one's better. I said this one's worse.
No, I'm saying that you heaped praise on Evil Bong, saying that this was a superior film to anything. That just blows. I know this one sucked too, but both of these, like, I honestly put it below like watching nothing for an hour and a half.
I would rather just sit in my chair and do nothing for an hour and a half than sit through this ever again.
I mean, and even to knock Evil Bong down a peg, at least there isn't a Beaster Day 2 near as I can tell yet.
Yeah,
So-
was it like 8 or 9 Evil Bong movies?
Exactly. So
that's
these
all
guys at
because
least
Charles
learned their
Band
lesson.
sells merch and toys of all of his movies. It's the only way he makes movies.
Yeah.
And he boots his own VHSs and then sells them as legitimate things.
He's
Still.
such a nice guy in person, though. It sucks.
He's just a shady business guy.
Yeah.
I never met him, but I've heard he is nice. So that's cool. I would love to meet him one day and just pick his brain. Hopefully he doesn't see this episode and think I'm shitting on him, because I'm not. I just know how his business works, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he'll mind you saying that you don't, about his business. I mean, he's been doing it for so long. I'm sure he's heard it 100 million times,
Yeah.
I just wish he would. I mean, I know his thing is little creatures, but do something a little different.
Yeah. I mean, what do we have? Castle Freak was a full moon picture, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Not directed by Charles Band, obviously, but it was still under the full moon umbrella, at least. And I love Castle Freak. Castle Freak is great. But I can't think of a lot of Charles Band directed movies that I liked.
I see. I just think like, Full Moon. He had his hands in it, so that's what I just think. I don't even think of like the directing thing. Like Head of the Family is really good. I don't know. Does he direct that? Sorry, my face. Oh no, that's not directed by him though. But like, I see Full Moon. I think Charles Band.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
But like, of course, Puppet Master. Like, not all of them are great, but like, I like the Puppet Master series.
I got a couple Puppet Master figures and stuff. I enjoy the franchise for what it is. There was one that came out recently, the latest one that had Thomas Lennon in it from Year 901. I forget.
Yeah.
The Littlest Reich. That's what it was called.
Oh.
I bought that one because I was like, oh, it's a fresh, modern take Puppet Master. This might be fun to watch, and it was okay. Like it's better than some of the previous entries. It still wasn't anything great.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had Thomas Lennon in it and a couple other notable stars, so it's like, okay, well, and that one it was bad, but you knew they had fun with it at least. Like they knew on the set that they had fun, and it was technically kind of well made. Like there wasn't like sound issues and quality dips and all that stuff. Like it was technically made well. So like I couldn't complain about it too much. I don't regret watching it. Whereas some of the Puppet Masters I do regret watching because some of them are really bad.
Yeah.
But like the first couple I really enjoy. So
yeah.
I'm not here to shit on Charles Band.
No.
At all.
Yeah, we got off of Beaster Day and we started talking about Full Moon. But
yeah.
Which
is not a full moon movie.
Like, if you're comparing Beaster Day to any Full Moon movie, it's like Full Moon has like years and years and years of experience and people, and I'm burping, I'm sorry, coming in and doing their thing for years. They're like a big impact on the horror community and everything.
Yep.
While Beaster Day is just like, we're going to make a movie and this is what we're going to try to do. I hope they improve from here. I always like to say, like, maybe that's not what they wanted, that's what they got. So I want to see if they make something else. I'd like to see something else that they made, and go from there. And
is that a cat?
You stroking that pussy while we're talking, huh? Oh yeah.
Oh, Zoe.
What was I gonna say? That screwed me up. I totally lost my train of thought.
Fucking cats,
God
man.
damn it, cat!
See it? I'll come back to me.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like but it's also that hot stove theory too. It's like, I mean, I am kind of curious to see if they improved on their next movie, if they ever did another one. I didn't really do the research to check. But if they did, or if they do, will they learn from their mistakes and make something at least a little bit better? Just keep improving. But at the same time, it's like, do I even want to waste my time now? Because I honestly feel like there was no effort into this movie, and I this is the first movie I've seen in a really long time that I can think of, at least, like, where I can honestly say I don't feel there was any effort into it. Like, I feel like they didn't try their best, and if you at least try your best, that's where the charm comes through. It's like, well, they tried, and what they failed, but they tried. And this one, I didn't get any sense of that. It was just like they just threw shit at the screen, and they wanted to get it over with because they had all this money and they had to do it. That's how it came off to me. And so for me, there was no charm. There was no, oh, this is delightful because it's so stupid. It's just like you just wasted everybody's money. You wasted everybody's time. You wasted your own time. You probably killed your careers with this movie because no one's ever going to fund your shit again. You're going to have to fund it by yourself next time. Oh, man. I mean, I'm sure this movie has its fans out there. I don't doubt it. Just because it's one of those... It's just one of those movies. It's just going to have its fans. Like every movie does. There's not a single movie out there that has zero fans of it. So,
and to those people, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. if you're a fan of Easter Day, yeah,
we got that fat samurai guy in here. What's up, man?
Yo,
there we go. Hey,
what's up, samurai? We're just talking shit about Easter Day, man.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what director said this recently. I saw. Who the hell was it? He's talking about going to a convention and like he hates his movie or whatever, and somebody pointed out to him and said, you should probably be nice to everybody, all the fans, because you are saying this shit about their favorite movie,
Yeah.
And it's like, you might hate your movie, but to them, that's the best fucking thing they've ever seen in the world. So that definitely has fans,
Oh, yeah.
This movie definitely has fans. It's, I don't know if I'd say a hidden gem or anything.
Oh,
I wouldn't
no.
say that, but I'll say what's worse than this. Long live the dead. The fuckers that tried to get my channel. Don't. Here's another thing. Another warning sign. What?
Sorry. I was doing a little bit of digging on this director. Surprising or not, he has done a lot of porn parody directing.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm seeing his IMDb credits as in Mad Maxine, Frisky Road, Ant Babe, the Tiny Bravengers, Angel Bulgetron. Near as I can tell, yes. Okay. As I can tell, basically everything is either that he has made is either a horror porn parody or just a straight up porno parody.
You know what? That doesn't shock me.
The only one that looks like it might be a horror movie is one called Zombies, but I don't know.
What an original title, by the way.
What's it about?
Yeah, no shit.
It is a satirical look at capitalism and the evils that it entails. No, it's about zombies.
I was going to say, I wasn't serious.
No,
I believed you for a second. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
That sounds like a very intelligent title.
No, I was trying to pull some subtext that probably doesn't exist without having watched it. So
I know the guy that that was in charge of that he Doug hit over with the 2x4 was I think he was in a movie called Bacterium.
Okay.
Which is, I think it's from Wild Eye Releasing, put it out or whatever. Which, that's another thing I got to get into. That movie is kind of cool. Like, it's like how did they make this kind of movie? Like, there's like this weird, I don't even know what it is. It's like a living organism, but it looks like snot. Let's just say that. But the way they have it moving around a house and everything, it's so neat. And I remember reviewing that a long time ago, and I was like, "That's actually really cool how they did that." And then I saw him in this. It's like, but warning sign, like you're going into a movie. The first thing I saw was Uncorked Entertainment. I thought 50-50, because Uncorked, there's some that I like, and then there's some that are Beaster Day.
Yes.
So they go. Wild Eye Releasing, like they were the first ones that ever let me review stuff. I had hardly any review or subscribers, And they used to put out a lot of good stuff, and then now they just put out anything.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of hit or miss with them too. So the label says a lot too. But I mean, it's cool that somebody wanted to put out their movie too. At least there's companies that are like, hey, we'll give you a chance. But I don't know. I just go back, keep going in my head. Like, these are Pennsylvania people. I gotta,
I gotta be
support
nice.
them a little bit. I gotta support them a little bit because I've seen worse. I've seen a lot of movies. And
yeah.
Well, odds are we will probably see some of those in the history of this show because because even you said bad movies, but also we are shooting for underappreciated as well, and so it's one of those crapshoots. You will find something that was like, it's not as bad as you think. Like for me, Brandon shits on me for all the time, but I actually like Terrifier quite a bit,
and I hated that one.
Terrifier?
Yeah.
Yes.
With Art the Clown?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, why do I know that title? It's okay.
I liked it.
He loved it and I hated it.
The gore is cool, but I think...
The gore was really good.
I think I was hyped up for it too much. And then I saw it and I'm like, oh. That always ruins it too. Like, it's so fucking good. It's up here. And then you start the movie, you're here. And then it's like, well, it's more here for me.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad movie. It's just that's why I don't watch trailers a lot. I don't watch reviews before I see the movie. I don't want that in my head influencing me while I'm watching the movie.
Right.
So,
right.
But I did finally when I did finally see it, I thought that's pretty cool. Like the gore in that is neat. I'm looking forward to seeing the second one.
I'm still gonna watch the second one of Terrifier.
Oh, this will be on this. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to do it for this podcast. But one that surprised me for when we were doing the Gore Keeper podcast was Humanoids from the Deep, which is a Roger Corman film. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, that's actually really cool artwork.
Yeah, it is.
But the Roger Corman produced Humanoids from the Deep, which I just got on VHS not too long ago. We watched that for the podcast, and we thought it was going to be shit. Well, at least I thought it was going to be shit, and I ended up loving it. I'm like, dude, this
thought it was
great.
Oh, yeah?
I thought it was dumb.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I think him and I both had the split between Terrifier and Humanoids from the Deep. I thought Humanoids was dumb. Because it was... we're getting on quite a bit of digressions here, but quickly with that one, it was basically... a whole lot of raping was basically the plot of that film. Monster rape. That was basically it.
It was directed by a woman.
Does that make it okay? Does that make it okay?
No. Trying to be woke.
Yeah. My failed attempt at being woke. But no, I really enjoyed that movie. I don't know. There's been a few that we've done. And there's been some that we've done before where it's like we know it's pretty good, but the general public kind of doesn't appreciate it, so we highlight it. Yeah, dude. You got like everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know where my Humanoids from the Deep is right now. It's buried in one of my shelves here.
No,
I do have it.
It's basically saying everybody has the same instinct. We all just want to have sex, and they're coming out to reproduce.
Yeah,
not in the nicest of ways.
No, but the creatures were so cool in that movie. Like I have a thing for like sea creatures, like and stuff. Like that's your life, John.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I miss?
Yep, nothing.
Funny boy.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, but anyways.
But yeah, I like sea creatures like. Creature from the Black Lagoon is it's probably my favorite like creature design of all time. Absolutely. I love the Gill Man. I like Shape of Water a lot. Like Deep Rising had a really cool sea monster in it. The recent Underwater movie, I really liked that with Kirsten Stewart.
I didn't see that one yet.
Oh, it's surprisingly good. Surprisingly good. It got like almost no attention when it came out, but I watched it with my now fiance. And we watched it, and I was just like, holy shit, this is a really cool movie. And I did not expect that. And Kirsten Stewart actually did a good job, which surprised me. But yeah, we're going off a tangent now.
I'm just no. I didn't hear anything after you said my now fiance because I'm thinking of jokes. Like this is my now fiance. That sounds funny. And in my head, I thought that sounds funny. My now fiance. It's like my has been my wife.
Well, and also, my favorite explanation for that was comedian Tim Minchin, who made a point of saying hated calling his wife because was saying that he felt that too like possessive, like my wife, and so he liked calling her his Velp, his vaginally endowed life partner. So he goes, me and my Velp. But anyways,
yeah.
All right, so we're almost at an hour now, so we'll do closing thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So first, I want everyone to go around and give their star rating out of 5, and then the buy or die segment, which is where would you buy this movie or would you rather die?
Oh,
we can start with Mr. Tony the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, like I said, if you're not looking for anything serious and you just want to turn your brain off for a while and just have a movie on, that's ridiculous, and or maybe just want to trick somebody, be like, watch this movie, and everybody watching, what the fuck are we watching? Beaster Day is probably the movie for you. If you're too picky on movies, I would say avoid it. My star rating out of 5, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say 3.
Wow,
I'm going to say 3 only because we're talking about it more, and I gave it an extra star for PA. But yeah, and would I buy it? Well, I'd buy that for $1. I wouldn't. I'd spend like, hey, there's a garage sale, 50 cents. I'll take Beaster Day. If I'm I'm not going to order online for $20.
Right.
That way, But I think because I don't know, maybe something's on the DVD as well, like we said, talking about it or special features. But I doubt it.
I bet they don't know how to do that.
No. And they basically just took the how that cat playing a piano thing. That's what somebody did with this rabbit. Yeah. That thing. That's basically what they did with this thing. But yeah, that's what I say.
John?
I gave it a half star. You could even have seen that on Letterboxd. I would end up saying die on this. God. Die. Die forever. No.
I'll give you my copy. You don't have to die.
Oh, God.
I'm also giving it a half star.
Ooh.
And I only give it that because they filmed something. And that's it. That's the only reason.
So you're saying what would have got them a 0 star is if they... Actually, no. I take that back. I was going to say I maybe would give them more credit if they just took the money and ran.
I mean, the only way I'd give a 0 star is if I was sitting and watching like a blank black screen for an hour and a half. Then I'd be like, okay, well, that was 0 stars. That was 0 entertainment value. But they put something on camera.
Okay.
So you get half star for that.
And
other than that, that's it.
Die?
Oh, die in a heartbeat. Kill me. If you ever catch me spending money in this movie, you have the right to murder me in the street.
Well, you get 3 stars. 1 because they're from PA.
Yeah.
2 because they tried, and 3 because when the mayor got stomped on, he turned into a peace sign.
I saw that. It's like, oh, good, someone knew how to use Photoshop.
I don't even know how to do that, so it's like, it's kind of neat. It makes you think though too, like if they could do it, maybe they influence somebody too. You think like, wow, if they did that, I could do something, and maybe they could bring out the next Terrifier. Who knows?
Which I would hate because I hated Terrifier.
Well, I was more going toward John.
Yeah.
Maybe they could be the next humanoids from the deep, whatever.
There you go.
I mean, actually, no, I did see one review on IMDb making the point of going, does this movie suck? Yes. But there are a lot of horror directors that their first stuff is absolutely shit until they get to find their voice. So, I mean, there is that point as well.
Yeah, but you also got to think about it with, like, artists and bands. Like, when they come out with their first album, sometimes it's going to be shit. Sometimes you don't have the voice to do it. And in this case, I'm thinking that that's probably the case. That there's no voice.
Could be.
There's no voice to sing this song. It's out there in the world now, and some people are going to fall victim to it like we did. And some people are gonna love it for whatever reason, and more power to you. That's awesome. I wish I could watch this movie and enjoy it. I wish I could just shut my brain off and enjoy the schlock of it, but for this one I couldn't do it.
Me neither.
And I'm sorry to the directors who made this movie, but it just,
I thought you were gonna say
anything for me.
I thought you were gonna say sorry to the people of Pennsylvania.
Oh, and to the people of PA. I'm sorry. I don't mean to shit on it. Because I bet
I talked to everybody, and we don't accept your apology.
Okay.
No, PA is fine. It sucks. The roads suck, and the winters suck.
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful place to live.
We live in Minnesota, so we also have pretty much the same problem. Roads suck. Winter sucks. Summer sucks.
You got Fargo,
you spring
right?
and fall.
Oh, that's North Dakota.
Oh, North Dakota. What's the difference? Minnesota, North Dakota.
Exactly. Half people from Minnesota think Fargo is in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know.
Minnesota,
anyways.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a cute bunny. Better than Beaster Day. If I just saw you doing this with that bunny for an hour and a half, I would probably give it a full star instead of a star.
Still a half.
I would still. If you would watch me for an hour and a half doing that, I wouldn't go on the show. Like this guy's got some issues.
You watched me cuddle with my bunny for an hour and a half. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitch while I will cuddle a bunny. Yeah. Anyways.
With my feet exposed. Check out my fans only.
Well, do you have anything you want to plug, Tony, before we leave?
Just check my YouTube channel out, Mr. Tony the Dead. Instagram is Tony of the Dead. Twitter, Tony of the Dead. I have t-shirts and stuff for sale in the merch. I have a merch shop. Let's just shorten it. Just check me out. And if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to these guys. This was fun. I haven't done this in a few weeks. And, it was nice, even though it was technical difficulties. But, this was fun.
That's par for our show, though.
Yeah.
You should have seen the first episode we did on Rawhead Rex.
No.
It was a shit show.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
Yeah. This one went way smoother.
You learn.
Yeah.
You learn. You try to find your. I'm still learning. Like I'm doing this for a long time, but the problem with me is consistency.
Yeah.
And engaging with your audience outside of your channel. That's. I mean, I don't have a ton of subscribers to talk about, but I know what I like. I like interaction.
Yep.
And,
right.
Some people they can get on the best guests in the world. Like, you can get Zack Snyder on, but you don't talk to anybody, nobody's going to know.
Right.
So,
yeah.
If anybody's out there thinking about starting a YouTube channel, just do it.
Yeah. Just consistency is key. Put out good content and just keep doing it, and eventually your shit will grow. We're still a really small channel ourselves, so thank you for coming on to our really tiny channel.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
No
I had a lot of fun
Absolutely.
talking about this pile of crap.
And if you want to make a movie and you're afraid of these guys bashing it, don't be.
Don't be, because we will any publicity is good publicity, and we'll probably talk about it on this channel. So
right.
Make some more movies for us to watch.
Yeah. If you're nervous to start out and to make a movie or something, you're just go out and do it. I've heard it from directors, like, just go out and do it, because I'd love to make a movie. But I don't know what about, and I don't work well with people. I work well like this.
Yeah.
But I'm not very engaging. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I had a great time with this.
Yes.
I don't know what we were doing next or when we'll be back. We'll see. We will make announcements on all of our social media. So all of our social media has been plugged this whole time on the little banner down there. Follow us on Facebook at the Rotten Gore, just Rotten Gore like that. Subscribe to the Gorekeeper channel where all of our content will be. You can follow me on Twitter at YT Gorekeeper. John, you're at Mafu John on Twitter.
Yep.
Shorty Dead, you've already plugged your stuff, so we're good on that. And with that, thank you so much. We're out of here.
See ya.